Welcome to the Biz Show, sponsored by InvestQuire. And now, your hosts, Barry and Lisa.
Good morning. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Lisa, how you doing today?
Oh my gosh, it's a beautiful day. I hear the birds chirping. I got a workout in. I'm fired up, ready to go.
Oh, man. I don't know. I got a bunch of rain.
You got rain where you are?
Yeah. Well, I live,
Lake
up on the mountain. No,
Okay.
I live in Rancho Santa Margarita.
The weather is always opposite from coast to inland, I've been noticing.
It is. It was raining on the way in.
I'm so excited about today.
Yes, we have a guest with us today, don't we?
I don't know who it is. Do you? Have you met this guy?
I think we both know him. But what's our topic today?
Well, we're going to level up your career by talking about tips that young go-getters follow.
We have a young go-getter here today.
Yes, he is.
And we're going to ask him a whole bunch of questions about where he came from, where he's at, and where he's going to.
We want to get inside his mind so we can explore what these young 22-year-old college professionals are thinking about their future and about building a business and a career.
Exactly. So, business continues on, right? And there's an attrition of employees, right? From the CEOs and the board of directors right on down to the janitors. But there's an attrition. Everybody gets cycled through at a certain point. You get old, you're retired. New people come in.
Is he fresh young blood? Is that what you're saying?
He's fresh young blood, and someday he's going to be the CEO of a company.
Little did I know when I gave birth to him.
Oh! Little did you know.
Well, we tipped you off now. We're introducing my son, Anthony Manifold, who is 22 years old and a student at Cal State Fullerton in Fullerton, California. He's been studying communications with an emphasis of sports broadcasting, and he's also been the host of a radio show at Cal State Fullerton. He's achieved a major milestone, though, I must say, watching me all of these years do real estate as a broker and real estate associate for companies for the past 20 years. And he's got his real estate license now. And he's willing to jump into the game.
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah.
It feels weird being on the receiving end of a podcast because I'm usually introducing the guest and kind of name dropping and buttering them up. So it feels good to be on the receiving end. Thank you.
Now you get to know what it feels like, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Anthony, thank you for joining us today. I've watched you grow up for a very long time. I've known your mom, 20 years. So I've known you 20 years, and you're only 22. So, I've known him when he was in diapers.
Yeah.
Uncle Barry.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, huh? So, but it has been a fascinating ride, seriously.
Right.
Not just with Anthony, but all your children have really been successful at what they've done. And Anthony is really shining, right? He's going to Fullerton. He's studying communications. He's gotten his real estate license. And we're going to dive into that and figure out how all that dynamic works.
How does it tie together?
How does he...
I'm ready for it.
All right.
Let's bring it on.
Well, let's ask the first question. All right. The first question for you is this. How do you manage your time effectively? And how do you prioritize both your studies and work?
Well, let me tell you, Barry, it's not easy. Considering I'm commuting to college now, I have to block out time for a 30-minute drive, a 30-minute drive there. But it's not easy because I work, I go to school, and now on top of this, I'm trying to build a real estate career and a brand, and also helping my mom in her real estate endeavors. So it's not easy.
It's not, and you should probably get used to the commutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they
30
are
minutes isn't that bad.
for the rest. Welcome
right?
to adulthood. Right?
Yeah.
They don't tell you that, but you're going to spend at least a third of your time in the car.
Well, you know what? I'm kind of already used to commuting because I grew up and I went to a private Catholic school, and I commuted every morning at 7 a.m., 40 minutes just to get to school. And that was unheard of at my age. I was 16 doing that. And I was traveling through these hills, and my mom was always telling me to be careful. And my dad would watch me drive out of the driveway and just watch me leave the street. So I'm kind of already used to commuting. I don't mind driving at all.
Well, that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of like my car now. It kind of drives itself. So I just push all the buttons, and then I
Oh,
just
boy.
monitor.
You have a Tesla?
I don't have a Tesla. I actually got a Hyundai. But it's
Oh.
got the lane assist, and it's got the The cruise control
Oh,
that's
okay.
adaptive and stuff. So I put the cruise control on. It keeps me in there. And then the lane assist, it actually takes it does a really good job of
Okay.
keeping me in the lane of people cut in front of me and stuff
And
like
to that point of driving and commuting, I mean, it's been really cool to be with Anthony in the passenger seat when he doesn't speed, because
Wait.
he's actually listening to Robert Kiyosaki and some real estate
I know Robert, yeah.
coaches.
I don't
and
know
he's
him, but I know
been
of him.
self-grooming himself to prepare for this career. So as his mother, not knowing what he does when he's not around me, he's actually, taking some steps and taking initiative and really preparing his mindset for a self-driven career such as real estate. You really have to be on your game and wake up every morning and be very positive and self-driven. And so I really commend him for that. And I've been watching him do that without, me nagging him and giving him all of these resources and things to do. He's found them on his own. And so I'm really proud of him for taking that time while he's in his car and commuting and preparing for the day. Whether it's in real estate or preparing for a class or a final, I think it all kind of ties together, and mindset is everything. So so I applaud him for that.
Alrighty, what's the next question?
So it brings me to question number 2. What initially drew you to the world of real estate at such a young age?
Well, I think this is kind of a give me question. Obviously, it was you, Mom, and I never intentionally planned on being a real estate agent. Of course, I wanted to do sports broadcasting. But as I just went through college, I kind of started to put myself in the world of making money, and I felt like journalism wasn't going to give me the opportunity to grow my personal brand and business. And I feel like real estate will give me a trampoline to jump on and really just build myself up. But as a kid, I had no idea I was going to do this, because all I remember was you being on calls 24/7, driving me to school, talking about all these things I have no idea about. But now I'm starting to understand all that. So obviously it's you, Mom.
It's funny that you say that, because you mentioned journalism, right? And I like what you said there in regards to creating your own brand, because when you're in journalism, you're with somebody else's brand, right? You're as a journalist, maybe you're a reporter, maybe you're an anchor, but you're doing it for somebody else.
Yep,
You're not doing it for
you're
yourself.
building NBC, some corporate company
Yeah.
who doesn't really need you.
Right.
And they file through applications, and they really pick the top of the crop just so they can reinforce their brand.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, the dynamic shift into real estate, yeah, you can really build a good brand and at some point have your own real estate company, and then you manage it and so on and so forth.
And real estate's a little bit like that, because people will be hiring him to build their brand of their home, per se, in all the marketing that we do as a real estate professional. So you're going to be having to show them that you have that strength and skill, which you obviously are learning in college and have learned by watching me along the way. So yeah, so as a young child, he did watch me go to a lot of appointments and hear me on the phone repeatedly and negotiating with real estate contracts and whatnot for my clients. So I think it was just an organic thing.
And that leads to the next question, and it's a loaded question because we already know that answer, right? Is Anthony, what specific person influenced you and to get you into the real estate?
Well, I guess I already spoiled that question,
Yeah,
huh?
you did. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it anyway.
Well, obviously my mom. I grew up watching her.
But you know a lot of other real estate agents too, right?
Yeah, well, just because she brought them into my life.
Right.
And also going into college too, I met a couple people that were my age that already started their real estate business, and they're super successful in it. So it kind of was always in the back of my head, was like, wow, I could do this too. Like, why not me,
Yeah. Well, that's a great attitude to have, right? Because the sky's the limit, and you can do anything you want to do as long as you set your mind to it.
Yeah, and I have 3 children, so I never really forced any of them, oh my gosh, you need to come help me and build a team with me in real estate. So like I said just a few minutes ago, it definitely was organic that he took initiative and said, I want to go get my license. And so, of course, I pointed him in the direction of becoming a licensed real estate agent. So happy to have you on the team.
The Manifold team, watch out.
There you go.
The next Tim Smith group. I'm telling you.
Esquire, Manifold,
Right?
There's going to be Manifold and Manifold.
It's
Yeah.
growing. I'm already recruiting people, Mom.
That's great. We got to build that empire.
Uh-huh.
So number 3 brings us to breaking barriers.
Number 4.
The
yeah.
advantages and challenges of being a young agent. So what are some of the unique benefits and challenges you face in this competitive industry?
Well, look at me.
Can you tell?
Well,
Yeah.
look at me. I'm 22. People obviously look at me as like this young kid. I don't know much, and that can be partly true. But I also have the advantage in being personable to them and relating to their experiences as a younger real estate agent.
You know, I remember, gosh, was it 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, when we were sitting in the conference room and a call came in for a sale of a house, and a guy was looking for somebody to represent him, and that turned out to be you.
Yeah,
that was your first gig, man. And so, how'd that feel?
Oh, it was a wild journey because I did those 2 open houses. I represented her just completely by myself on one of them. They both ended in closing escrow, so I think I did a good job. But specifically talking about this instance, the buyer was a first-time home buyer too, so he really didn't know what he was doing. So we were
blind leading the blind, right?
So we were kind of teaching each other on what to do and what everything was. It was a crazy instance. And once the offer got accepted, my mom was generous enough to help in and kind of show me the process of after escrow. So
the good news is you had a guiding hand for sure.
Yeah, of course.
You know, even though it was a motherly hand.
Yeah.
Well, not so much. I mean, I really, when business is business, I treat them like
I actually remember having conversations with you, Lisa.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be neutral because you know, we're representing one side.
Yes.
He was representing the other, so you guys needed to go to your corners and
we really did
and be
respect
careful
that.
what you said to one another.
Yeah.
So, but you guys did that very professionally. I was impressed the way that you guys did it.
Yeah, when the call came in, they asked for Anthony Manifold. So, I mean, I had to give the phone to him and have him take over.
Yeah.
And he did a good job at that. So,
well, so we talked
great job
about
on your first deal.
the challenges and stuff, but what about the advantages as a young entrepreneur coming into this? What advantages do you see?
Well, I mean, Barry, I have my whole life in front of me, so that's an advantage. I can really choose multiple paths to go down. I just started coaching today. I put the investment in myself with the Tom Ferry Group. So I'm going to be having someone coach me over the next few months. So I'm excited for that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see how that pans out.
Yeah.
And the key is like, he just said, invest in yourself. And without doing that, you really can't see the endless opportunity in front of you. And so he's taking a leap of faith, and he's putting his, credit card on the line, and that means he's going to have to be committed and held accountable and really show up to these appointments, because ultimately that is where the results will come in, is showing up and doing the work, the hard work. And I wanted it to be a coach aside from me, even though we are a team. So that's why, he's doing that, and I think that's a great thing. I think we all need coaches, even if we have created a bunch of success. I think it's a good thing to do.
Well, Mom, you had a life coach too.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I broke free in this career in 2004.
And the funny thing is, and we've said this to many of our clientele, Lisa, invest in yourself, invest in your business, right? So your business is yourself, especially if
that's
you're
why
small.
we named our company InvestQuire.
InvestQuire, right? So
it all ties together.
So it does tie together, and it's kind of coming back full circle now, right?
Yeah.
So cool.
So so the first deal, we talked about that. Anthony represented his first client.
Yeah.
And of course, it was all unknowns to him along the way. So I tried to guide him in things, how to approach the client and stay professional along the way. Even if you don't have the answer, you told the client, I'll get back to you with that answer, right? So were you scared in that process?
Of course I was scared. I was dealing with someone's future home and their offer, and obviously it's kind of scary because they're putting a huge investment on a house, on their future home, on their family. So yeah, I was scared because it was unknown. I didn't really know what the next step was.
Yeah, so you were scared, but how did you feel in terms of like going through that process with him and having his deal get secured? Obviously, we had multiple offers on that home.
Yeah.
And so it was a little bit of a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it was a lot of back and forth. But I knew we were making progress with each other because he kept coming back to me and saying that he really wants his home. So we were able to get to that point of getting our offer accepted.
So you were able to get him from a lower bidding price up to the full asking.
Yes.
Because he did come in low, right?
Yes.
And I think a lot of buyers, just to talk about real estate for a second, are, wanting to use sort of like the listing agent, because Anthony and I are on the same team, that created a dual agency representation, thinking that they could potentially secure the property at a lower purchase price point. And so that's another thing that, Anthony did do for this client, was really, guide him to the point like, hey, this isn't going to happen. Just because, we're a team and it's dual agency, you're not going to be able to secure the house for lower than asking, because it's a very healthy market right now. It's a very competitive market.
Well, it's a healthy market, but there's also two agents,
business.
one on the selling side and one on the buying side, right? Nobody's going to work for free.
Right, exactly. So, but that was Anthony's doing. He really, brought him along in the process. And it is a process even before the offer gets accepted. So, Anthony, you got to see that like firsthand.
Yeah.
So it was very educational.
Well, we went to a whole training on dual agency and the new rules coming up. So a lot of it was very relatable, and how you kind of have to navigate through that whole process and still pay your fiduciary duty to your client.
Right. And let's talk about that for a second, right? Because we both know there's a new ruling coming out in July. But how much is that really going to affect, the market and the business? I mean, let's face it. Honestly, today, it's already in place, right? It's been in place for a while. It's just now being brought to the forelight, and everybody now knows it. And then the selling or the buying agent's commission is being taken off the MLS.
Good topic. So what did you learn yesterday?
Yeah, so tell us about that.
Well, so the training kind of taught us how to really deal with that. We did a ton of role play,
right?
And being the buyer's agent, and then a client coming in, and the client wanted to see their first house, right? And the buyer's agent kind of went through this whole crystallization method, and then she started talking about the contract and the commission, and she said her fee was 2.5%. And that if he chooses to make an offer on a house and the house isn't offering any, then the client would be obligated to pay that 2.5%.
Right.
Or the difference of that. If they're only offering 1 or 2%, he would be obligated to offer the half. But we're kind of having to offer our services and making sure that we're diligent in providing all of our services. So a big point was brought up. He's like, oh, can I only pay 1%? Well, do you want less of my services?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a different tier.
And
nobody's going to work for free.
Right. Nobody wants to work for free. And, maybe there's going to be exodus of a lot of agents because they're buying agents and I can't make any money now.
Also.
But honestly, again, this has already been going on for a long time. It's just now been brought out in the open.
Yeah.
And it's been based off of the selling. Hey, it's 6%, 3 and 3, or 5, 2.5, 2.5, or 3, 2, whatever the case might be. And it still is that. But if the selling agent and the seller is not willing to pay that, then the buyer, they're going to have to negotiate something with the buyer.
Well, the buyer is already paying it right now, even before this legislature passes, because ultimately the price is built into to include both of those commissions. So, I mean, if the seller is going to offer his property for less and only represent one commission, he's still going to have to. I mean, the buyer's still going to have to pay for their own commission. Pay the commission.
Well, listen, it opens the floodgates for negotiation, and some people are going to have to.
I think that's what it was trying to do.
Yeah, and it's going to open the floodgates to people paying premium for good agents.
Yes.
And they're going to have higher prices.
They might even have higher commission.
I was just going to say, I see in a couple of years, it's actually going to be more than the 6%. It might be 7, 8%. Because there's going to be negotiation. And the good negotiators out there, they're going to be making bank.
Yeah. As an agent, like we already have 24 points of negotiation in an escrow. So 24 points. Like if you miss a beat, then pay me less. But we want to be on top of it. So there's definitely some value in the services that we provide as real estate professionals. And Anthony's coming in at a great point in time, figuring out, what are the services that you're going to have to provide. Yeah. So handling your first listing, or that, I represented the listing side and you represented the buyer side.
So we've actually handled several of the questions down here already. We've gone through, this entire process. We've gone through negotiation challenges and all that already, right?
Right.
So, we're running out of time here because we're. But anyways, so let's why don't we jump down to building that trust with the client in question 10 here, right? in regards to how did you establish the trust and the rapport with your first client?
Well, you have to be transparent. That's the biggest thing. He knew I was young. He knew I was referred to by my mom. So there was already that established fact of transparency. So then from that point, you really just have to establish connections.
Right.
And my connection was that I lived in Brentwood. So he knew that I already knew the area. He knew that it was one of my first times in a transaction. So he knew I was willing to go to end's length for him. So he knew I was committed to him.
Yeah. You want every client to feel that way, right?
Yeah.
That was a good eye opener. Like, I got to do this for every client.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I've always done with my clients, now I'm not an agent, you guys are the agents, right? But I'm the management side of it. And what I've always done with every one of my clients is I treat them like friends. You know, I don't treat them as, hey, that's just money coming in the door and stuff like that. I build a rapport. I get to know them. I build that relationship, right?
It's a
They become a
trusting
friend.
relationship.
Before I know it, I'm going out to breakfast or dinner with them, and some of them I've even gone on vacations with. You know, our families have gone on vacations together.
Well, that's how we formulated our business.
Yeah.
Because we were a client agent, and then we became friends.
Lisa, you sold me my first house.
And he started a band because of me. And he taught my daughter guitar lessons. But anyway, so speaking to that, like,
Uncle Barry.
how are you going to get clients? What strategy? Can you think of the top 3 strategies that you're going to start doing to get clients of your own in the near future?
Well, building relationships obviously is a big one. Opening my marketing strategy, building my social media. Those are all big things that I need to do and want to do. The biggest thing is creating a brand for myself apart from you, because then people are going to want to work with me.
Right.
But obviously, I have this good foundation of you referring me people and me getting experience from working with you.
Right.
So those are a few of the things that I need to grow my business, and I'm hoping a Tom Ferry coach could help me do.
Very good.
Yeah.
You know, and I think he's got an advantage on us in the sense that, you know, the younger generation is really good on social media. Plus, you know, he's got somebody over there that's in marketing that can probably help him on that side too, right?
Well, that's where people are getting a lot of their business from is Instagram and YouTube. I mean, they created a niche through those channels. And so the young generation knows how to do it so easily.
You know, I got 3 college degrees. I got one from the University of North Florida in business. I got one out of the University of Washington in communications, and I got another one out of Harvard in healthcare, a public healthcare administration. And, you know, when I went to school, like back in business administration, it was in the 80s. Marketing is completely different today than it was. I mean, back when I went to school, they were teaching television commercials, radio commercials, magazines, newspapers. You know, now what are they teaching in marketing? None of that, right? Or very little. Most of it is your social media marketing, your digital marketing stuff.
It's a combination of a lot of things. So that's going to be great for you to dive into that and just make your presence known to the public.
Well, Anthony, tell me, what's next on your journey? I mean, where do you see yourself in 2 years from now, and where do you see yourself in 10 years from now, right?
Well, I'm not sure professionally where I will be. Of course, I want to complete multiple transactions. I want to be one of the top agents of wherever I'm working. But personally, I want to be living on my own with a golden doodle named Ace. I just want to have my own lifestyle. I want to be able to live my own lifestyle. That's the biggest thing.
Well, I already see that you kind of are.
Well,
in some aspects, but
yeah,
I understand completely what you're saying.
Yeah.
But business-wise, you know, so you started out here as a real estate. Do you see you staying in residential? You want to move into commercial with us? Do you want to create your own agency? I mean, what, you know, I know it's new and, you know, it's all variables sitting out there, but, you know, what formulates in your head when you're laying down at night and you think about this?
It's such a loaded question.
It is a loaded question, but that's why we got you here.
Yeah. In 2 years, I don't even know where to start.
Well, you'll learn this in coaching because they always say put a number out there, like how many deals do you want to do, and then that's going to come to fruition.
Yeah.
The law of attraction, right?
Yeah.
So you're setting a goal, and then the coach will help you accomplish that goal. So you might have to start thinking about that before your first coaching call. But obviously the drive comes from the things you want. So if you want your own home, obviously you're going to need to make a certain amount of income. So that's where, people do put together a business plan that, Barry helps people do a lot in our company,
Write it down.
Esquire.
Just write stuff down.
And so that's part of the process when you're building a business. It's the business plan itself.
You know what I've done, and it works well for me. It doesn't necessarily work well for everybody, but I have my cell phone and I use Evernote, and I'll write down notes and stuff like that, right? And then I'll come back to those things, and then I'll try to put those into my plan. The other thing, and this is where my wife and I differ, is like, I love the window shop, right? And so she hates shopping, period. I can barely get her to the grocery store, let alone to go shopping. But I used to go to the malls all the time, and I would see things. Hey, I like that. I want it. I can't afford it. Okay, but that goes on my list. Now I've got that on my list. I can visualize it. I can start building a path to getting that.
Vision board.
Vision board. I need one of those.
And put it right in front of you on your bathroom mirror. I mean, when he was younger, he would do that. He had goals, and he put Post-it notes on the bathroom mirror for his goals.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
No Pokemon.
It was like down to his amount of sit-ups he did every night before bed.
Yeah.
And that was a great thing, a great tool to do for any
the most recent memory of that I can remember is 4 years ago when the election was rolling around. I made a list of stocks and how much I would make if I kept them in there for 10 years. And I actually ended up pulling out of those stocks, but the election is coming up again.
There's
and
I
plan on reinvesting because there's been a track record of the stocks dipping right before the election, and you could buy them at a premium price and hold on to those stocks.
Just said that. Yeah.
I just was showing your mother an article today that I was reading. Every morning I get up, I have my cup of coffee, I read news articles, business and stock, right? And this one says by the end of the year, the stock market is going to drop by 10 points. And the S&P, which is at 5,400 today, is going to drop by 4,700 points, meaning it's going to be under 1,000.
Yep.
So, yes, perfect time. I did really good in the stock market back when I bought my first house. I bought a stock in a company called PeopleSoft. And I bought a couple thousand shares, right? For pennies on the dollar. Well, guess what? Oracle bought those. I sold that thing for $77 a share.
Wow.
Amazing. So that was a great first experience.
So that was, So I played and I did some more and I did great. But then I also failed miserably.
I'll tell you what, Mary, talking about this, one of my business goals is to have multiple streams of income, passive income. Yes. And I know I definitely want to own multiple properties and rent them out, specifically a duplex.
Yeah.
I want to invest in stocks. I want that to be a form of passive income. I want my own business. I think I'm so passionate about golf that I think I could create my own golf brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love the passion about that, and
Debbie,
maybe you'll be the next Conway or
she
or
wanted
Callaway.
to actually teach golf lessons.
Yeah.
And have
who's this?
golf students. This associate that we met yesterday, Debbie is her name, and she wanted you to start doing coaching lessons.
Yeah, and I have experience
relationships with those students' parents and whatnot.
And I have experience actually being the student of lessons, and I have experience with this radio thing, and I could promote that way as well.
Absolutely. So I think what we're really emphasizing is that if you have a goal, I mean, the sky is the limit. Barry mentioned that earlier. Anthony, from all of the years being, my son, I've seen him just really go out in the world with like this eyes wide open zest. And we want this podcast to ignite some inspiration in a college professional or even a person in their mid 50s that is looking to own a business and do what they're really passionate about. And so the purpose of this podcast was to talk to you and have Anthony just, exemplify, his starting point and his goals and his vision and how those little things line up and what it does take to make it happen. And I think that's what he's really trying to express is like, just knowing what you want for your future and then implementing it. And what does it take? It takes an investment in yourself. He's, put out his credit card for an investment of a coach. He does have me, he could shadow my real estate business and also receive leads. But I mean, we want everyone that's listening to be really excited about building a successful future and really doing what you're passionate about. And watching Anthony's journey along the way, he'll be part of the Biz Show. in the future.
Yes, absolutely.
So we talked about the technology and how that's a big part of it. The podcast obviously is technology. And Anthony's going to be a standout in the crowd, when he puts his face on there because he's so handsome.
Well, let's talk about the technology for a minute. How do you plan on leveraging technology to your advantage?
Leveraging technology?
Yes.
This
is
podcast form, social
Yes.
media forum. I think I have a good voice. But I really have had fun with the golf side of things. I've been making golf TikToks.
Oh, cool.
And I kind of
I have to check those out. I'm going to have to follow you and start checking those out.
And I kind of narrate what I do on the golf course, which is kind of immature, like funny, but it's fun.
It doesn't matter if it's immature.
It's fun,
what
but
sells, right?
but I know I can leverage that in real estate as well. I need
Right.
to start making short form videos when I'm going into a house, when I'm at an open house. When I close transactions, they were talking yesterday about how I can have my clients be videoed and review my services, and that's going to help grow my business as well.
Testimonial.
Yeah, testimonials, absolutely.
He could create a golf niche where he could give them a little golf something as a housewarming gift. Or yesterday he went door knocking and he used golf door knockers. What did it say?
Oh, your knuckles.
Oh, it doesn't require a long drive to find a great agent.
There he is.
There you go. There you go.
It
I
was
like that. I like that.
Yeah, so creating a niche in social media so you stand out, right? Some
Yeah.
people have construction background and they, are doing flip housing, and so his niche will be golf. Houses on the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Well, there you go. You got to make sure that you have those shatter-proof windows, right?
Yeah.
This is a great one because, I know. We lived on the golf course.
You did
Thankfully,
live
we
on a
didn't
golf
have-
course. How many windows did you get broken?
We
We were on the back of the tee box,
Yeah.
so none.
Okay.
We got to watch everybody swing, which is why I think he likes golf now.
Oh, there you go.
But anyway, so Anthony has surrounded himself around some really cool dudes because I've met them all at his birthdays and whatnot. And, it's like birds of a feather flock together, and his friends that he met in college really all have like a business mentality and business mind, and they're really go-getters also. And so I've always taught my son to be a leader and just to be a standout. And so I think, surround yourself around people that are even at a higher level than you, so you could actually emulate what they're doing and increase in your levels of plateau of your achievements and successes. But what are top 3 pieces of advice that you would give other college professionals that are kind of lost in the shuffle?
Just do it.
Nike.
Yeah, for real.
Nike
See, and look, that marketing works,
It's
doesn't it?
stuck in
He
his-
said that, and you immediately came back. Nike.
Yeah.
That's a
right?
great point. But
Yeah.
just do it. I was struggling to get my license for a while. It took me 3-4 months just to pass the test. And I know once I really sat down and all I was doing was studying these redundant questions that I don't remember half of them now. But you really just have to put yourself in that position to succeed, and you will. And really put your mind to something completely.
Honestly, education, as I mentioned to you, I've gone to 3 different colleges, one of them being Harvard. They're a stepping stone to where you're going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is, my point is a stepping stone. You're going to walk over it. You're going to forget about it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's okay, but it got you on the path to where you need to be.
Yeah.
Because you're going to learn, you're going to get knocks and bruises and stuff like that along the way, and you're going to learn OJT, right? On the job training, so to speak, as you grow. When I first came out of college, I'm like, oh, great. I got my business degree. I'm going to be a CEO of this. Yeah.
That's how it even is now, because a degree is nothing. It's not enough to get a job. It's the infield experience.
I have hired. I'm going to diverse just for a second. We got to wrap up here because we're already.
Well, he only mentioned 2, so I don't want to let him off the hook because this is the piece where he's giving advice to people.
Right.
So the first one was just do it. The second was focus and really drill down.
Gotcha.
And what's your third piece of advice?
The third piece of advice, help me out here, because what was the question?
Oh, so you have advice for people that are thinking about their goal and of making something happen that they want for a career?
Okay, so someone told me something really passionate yesterday. He said, a plan without goals is just a dream. So you need to implement it, and that's where I'm at in my life. I have all these big dreams, but I need to implement the plan, and the plan to succeed. And another movie I just watched, I'm sorry, I love quotes. if you plan to succeed, well, no, if you plan to succeed, wait, I'm sorry.
You lost it?
Yeah, I lost it, but it's failing to plan is planning to fail.
Exactly.
There we go.
That's
That took me a while.
I've said that for
so many
25
times.
years.
You love
yes.
quotes too.
I love quotes
Yeah.
too. You know, that was one of them, right? If you fail to plan, you're going to plan to fail.
Uh-huh.
And the other one is if you don't know where you're going, any road's going to get you there, right? Because you don't know where the hell you're going.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and as starting out at 22 years old, you know, you can go anywhere you want to go.
Exactly.
But you should put a plan in
do
place.
Do
Just-
one of them. Just do one of your plans.
You know, and that kind of rolls back into one of the thoughts I had when you said that.
Sure.
And that is this, right? As a CEO of a large corporation, we're working on products and stuff like that, and we always have what we call an MVP, right? MVP is, and it basically it's the minimal value product. And what you're doing is here's the whole product from 0 to 100 that you want to build. But when can you launch that product and start making money at it? At 20%, at 40%? So just do it, right? Get out there, start it. You might start out with 5% and then 10% and then 20%.
Yeah.
And in a year from now, you'll be at 100%.
Yeah.
But
know
if
your
you're
numbers. Yeah. Shoot towards a goal. Know your numbers.
Exactly.
Have a business plan.
Exactly.
And I think my final piece of advice is work towards something you're passionate about. I'm passionate about golf. I really want to be incorporated in something in that field. And I know real estate is a trampoline for that. I know I can start building some income and invest in other properties and invest into the stock market. And I know I can get there through real estate.
You know, real estate actually is a trampoline to several different careers, right? It could be just staying in real estate, but it also could be flipping homes. It could be buying homes and owning homes and becoming a landlord.
It's the biggest key to wealth is owning property. I mean, that's the biggest return on your money is real estate.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where he's saying that's
So
going
well
to be
said.
his vehicle.
Yep.
Yeah.
75% of people that are millionaires invest in real estate, are involved in real estate.
Yeah.
It's no coincidence.
There you go.
There you go. Well, Anthony, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate that. And we learned a lot. And I know our listeners have learned a lot from this too.
Yeah, hopefully
And
you all
I'm looking forward to seeing where you go with this. And, you know, your mom's going to be there all the way. I'm going to be there to help you or maybe learn from you. Who knows? Well, hey.
Learn from you, Barry.
We're gonna
Learn how to be organized.
We're a team, right? And we all work together nicely. And the things that I lack, your mother's got. And the things that she lacks, I got. And then you coming into the mix, you're going to help us too, right?
learn how to golf. We're going to go golfing at Pelican
I know
Hill.
how to golf and I want to golf. So let me know next time you go and you want a
We're
partner.
going to go.
Alrighty.
We'll be at Pelican Hill, everybody.
Well, it was a pleasure to be on the Biz Show. You guys are doing a great job. I wish my podcast was getting to this level, but you guys are doing a fantastic job. Every little thing is really going to come to fruition. So I'm happy for you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well,
Being
listen,
with us
guys.
today.
Don't forget that you can reach out to Lisa and myself at investquire.com. As well, we do have a Facebook group called The Biz Show.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you guys.
And check out Anthony at Homes
Yeah,
by Tony.
Homes by Tony, please follow. I only have 30 followers right now.
Homes by Tony.
Homes
okay.
by Tony.
He needs a little support.
We'll put that up on there.
And
so that,
I need a new profile picture too. So if you know somebody, help me out.
Yeah. there
all
you
right,
go.
guys. Thank you. You have a great day. Bye.
Bye.